right, everyone. Hope you're all well and fine. In this part series, we'll continue on with the vulnerability management course from Security Blue Team. It's one of the free courses that you can jump into the labs and start preparing for your cybersecurity career. Basically, you don't have to pay anything for it. It's free of cost, although there is a paid course as well, and it's part of that big paid course. However, you don't actually have to pay for it. So I would highly recommend you jump into this course and actually get on doing all the labs and the setup information because it does cover a lot of topics. It does have all the cybersecurity terms that's needed for you to actually talk the talk, as I would say, because you need to be aware of all of this information that's actually out here. So, all right. So, without any further delay, what I'll do is I'll quickly recap what we actually covered. Mm. So, what we did cover was that we discussed about. Um, so, let's actually go into the course content and recap. That'd be a lot easier for me as well. So we did an intro to vulnerability management, what it actually is, and what do the analysts do. So in a bigger organization, you'd actually have separate teams doing each of the work. However, in smaller teams, you could have SOC analysts who are doing vulnerability assessment, reporting, and basically, let's say, remediating by reporting it to correct teams. For example, in my organization, I do sometimes have to look at the vulnerability management side of things. I do use Defender Portal and then go onto the machines. Microsoft does so security recommendation. So it was particularly important during our um, SOE implementation and ASD Essential 8 assessment. So what I then had to do was report it to my manager. He then assessed. Then we had to basically present that report back again to our external IT consultants. They then addressed the issue, and we were able to achieve essential aid compliance. So it's actually crucial in a cyber analyst or a security team job. So let's get into the topic itself. We discuss about vulnerability management, what is it and why is it needed, the steps. So as I discussed earlier, during my work time or in my work as well. So I had to identify, basically report, it was remediated, so reassessed as well. So make sure that the there are no more issues or keep on actually checking in periodic manner so that it's all addressed and without any security flaws. So once that was covered, we did also quickly look at the CVE index and how to actually interpret the information that's in there. So something with base score or the severity of the index, that's how you'd prioritize. So this one has a 3.2 base score, which the severity for it is pretty low, so it's not as quite as urgent as something with 9.3 or 9.2. We also see CVS's vector, so it's basically how pathway. Sorry, it's a method or pathway that an attacker actually uses to gain unauthorized access to the cybersecurity infrastructure. Sorry, cyber infrastructure. So you'd have take vector and all of those things. You could research in your free time and quickly jumping onto the infrastructure side of things. We did discuss about setting up your metasploitable to in your EC2 instance. However, it's a security risk as it is intentionally vulnerable um, virtual machine, and it does violate AWS's terms and conditions. So we did have to set it up on our on-premise virtual box as well. So Kali Linux as well. So these were two tasks that we did. We were able to set it up without any errors or difficulties or anything. So it was pretty smooth. And we did also cover a bit of scanning topics as well. So let's get back to the domain list. We're in this topic, so we did test, we did set up, we did answer some questions out of the quiz section, and then now we're in actual vulnerability scanning phase. Did activate. Um, so let's just go back to our portal. Just recap if you have any difficulties setting up, because there is a bit of networking setup you'd have to do as well, tweak it. Um, so just recap my other video part. All right, let's get back onto the portal. So just launching my Kali Linux. Just logging into it. Now let's open a browser. And please do correct me if I'm wrong at any part or at any point, because as I said, I'm not an expert. It's just the way I'm learning things as well. So just feel free to comment or leave a comment out there wherever this video will be posted, because as I said, I'm learning myself. Hmm, interesting. All right, so once we turn on, as you can see, the Nessus service wasn't actually running. So, all right, something good for us to actually get hands on. So, what we need to do is basically check the status if the service is running or not. So, that's the command. Um, if you see the status, it's actually dead. Hence, now we know what the issue is. So, let's just go and start start the service. So here you go. That's the command to start. Now it's actually asking us for authentication. And then now if you go on to check the status, it's actually running. Good. That's what we want. And let's jump back to our browser tab. And if you go on to refresh it, see it actually works now. So you need to do an initial setup with the Nessus. So basically choosing the subscription. All I did select essentials. That's all I needed for this lab scope. So you can go on and check my video and learn how to do it. All right. It is saying us to identify what host are there, targets. All right. Before let's get a bit organized and actually follow what the lab series says. So I'm just gonna on. All right. Okay. So we've logged in. Let's go through what the GUI actually consists of. So go on to this and see here. Uh, let's see what the GUI actually looks like. So something it is asking us to do here, and it's not stated on the lab guide, is to define the target or into the host name. So However, we do know what we're trying to do. So it's basically trying to do a host discovery scan to identify what hosts are available. So we've got that virtual machine for Metasploitable, and the IP address for it is gonna be, let's check here what the IP address is. So 10.0.2.4, and the subnet mask is 255 to 255 or 255 is 0. So that's basically inside annotation. That's slash 24 10.0.2.4. Let's make sure that was the correct one. 10.0.2.4 forward slash 24. Okay, it's discovered. I'm gonna run the scan on this one. So it's done the network scan already, and it's finding out some information, but